There are obviously a lot of names on this team that will likely, I'm going to put an asterisk, likely not be returning in 2028. So we kind of wanted to just go through and like take a general look at the picture, not going position by position who's going to be there, but a lot of people have already been discussing it. Who should return? Who should be a new face? Does Cooper Flagg deserve a shot? Which I've seen a lot of discussion around. But so let's start the topic of discussion with returners for sure. Like guys that you know for a fact are going to be back. Ant, no question. Did you see he came out and said, I'm not thinking about participating in the World Cup again? He's like, oh, I did the World Cup last year, the Olympics this year, one was 10 trillion times better. I'm only going to stick with the Olympics. And fair, Anthony. I agree. So Ant's a definite. Halliburton's a definite because he made this team. He'll make the team in the future. I am going to say Booker's a definite as well.
I think Booker seemed like he was having a fucking blast as well. Like Booker just seemed happy to be there. He's filming shit. I have those three guys as locks as well on my little. I did a little board.
Ant, Hallie, Booker, locks. Durant's a question mark because he did not close the door on it. No. It's possible. It's possible. I'm not counting it out completely. It's a possibility. Mm-hmm. Bam will be back. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis, I'm going to say no for now, just because the injury history.
He's played a few times.
He's been on two teams. I believe he's 32 now, so like he'll be 36. He's not the youngest guy, as I said. Injury history. Now the real question is, did Steve Kerr turn off Jason Tatum for wanting to participate? Because rumors are this is it for Kerr. He's not coaching in 2028. He's going to hand it off to Spoelstra. Do you think Tatum's pissed? First of all, I know he's pissed because he posted on his Instagram story, like, justice for Jason Tatum, which is like, I'm not going to fault the guy for his mom coming out and saying something like, I don't care. It's his mom. Like, she loves her son. You know, let her say what she wants to say. But then him coming out and saying that while they're like still all celebrating, I don't love that. If, you know, he was asked the question at a press conference at the start of the season and he said, yeah, I was pissed. I didn't like it. That's fine. But the day after, you're going on social media and posting on your Instagram.
Well, he released
justice for me.
He released a statement.
What does the statement say? I'm a whiny baby.
Oh my God! First of all, who isn't your goat the guy who's like, why is it always me? Let's not talk about being a whiny baby in the middle of the.
LeBron is a whiny baby. Listen. I'm not going to
defend.
I'm not going to say LeBron hasn't been a whiny baby in the past. He unquestionably has.
Tatum said it was a tough personal experience on the court, but I'm not going to make any decision off emotions. If you had to ask me right now if I was going to play in 2028, it's 4 years from now, and I'd have to take time and think about that. So I'm not going to make any decision based off how this experience was or how I felt individually. And then he just kind of talked about other stuff. And I think I don't think I was a big fan of Tatum posting Vance Staples' tweet. You know, like
that was lame. You've got to admit that was lame.
That was lame. But at the same time, like, he's angry and he has a right to be. I think if Jaylen Brown plays, Tatum will play. If Jaylen Brown does not play, Tatum will not play. And you've mentioned it a few weeks ago, and I think this is also a thing. Tatum probably didn't feel super great about all the Jaylen Brown shit that went on. Obviously, Tatum and D. White are tighter than him and Brown. But
they are?
Yeah, Tatum and White are very close. Like, Grant used to be Tatum's like pregame warm-up guy. This year it was D. White. So they're close. But Brown and Tatum are closer than the public lets on as well. So I think it's two things, right? I think what happened to Brown was disrespectful. And what happened to Tatum was disrespectful. So that's something. Now, Kerr's not back. Is Grant Hill still going to be running the operation? That's my question. I don't have the answer to that. So that remains to be seen. But I think Tatum will show up if Brown shows up. That's my take on it. But I think, to your point, the Tatum, that was bad. That wasn't That wasn't great. Now maybe like that's his buddy, I don't know, but like that wasn't great, and he's definitely pissed off. But listen, you're a fucking champion. Like, you just had another kid. You just got the highest paid contract in the league. Like, lots to look forward to. Yeah, sorry, I keep ranting. I want to say this. Tatum has not handled this like the best, but he's a human being, and this happens. But the storm around Tatum, this has never happened in international play for Team USA. There has never been press like this for an Team USA decision ever.
That's fair.
So I think we're dealing with a beast that we have not seen. And for Tatum, though it was a lot of people coming to his aid, there's still a lot of attention, right? So it was bad. And Kerr didn't help himself either. I still think him saying he was an idiot and then doing it again, that's pretty damning. That's like not a great look.
Stand 10 toes down. Just say he wasn't a part of the game plan. Like, I'm sorry, I have to make difficult decisions. Jason knows that. The fact that he kind of equivocated by saying, "Oh, I'm such a bozo. I'm so dumb." Like,
I think that made it worse because if you're just like being frank, like, yeah, the game plan, it's not going to work for him. Like, being like it's a numbers game is also not a good. Like, I don't think Kerr helped, and
I would agree with that too.
I think there's just layers to it. Unfortunately, it's like I just wish it didn't have to be this complicated. And then the thing that makes it even worse is that Tatum didn't play well when he was on the court. So he was the second or third best player in 21. He was not good this year. But I really do believe if Jaylen Brown plays, he'll play.
I just don't know, because I don't see why would Grant Hill want to step down. I feel like that's probably a sick job, head of Team USA basketball. That seems incredibly fulfilling and fun. Is Grant Hill going to give Jaylen Brown an invitation? I don't know, because Jaylen, it would be one thing to make a statement or two.
He said he would consider him for 28. He said that the other day. So
is he just doing that to appease his ego? I don't know.
I mean,
it might have been.
If they could forgive Kobe Bryant and let him play on Team USA, I think they'll make some room for Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? Like,
but Kobe had a cult around him.
That is, Jaylen Brown's gonna follow it. It's not what Kobe had, but I think if the Celtics win another title, it's gonna be very hard to leave Jaylen Brown off the roster. And actually, Henry, I'm gonna be so honest with you. This was gonna be my big takeaway. I was making a mock Team USA roster, and at this juncture, if you don't have Tatum or Brown, I don't think this team even gets the bronze at this rate.
Well, because Wemby's going to be averaging 48, right?
Sure. I'm not even kidding. I think the wing players and the bigs, if you don't have Tatum and Brown, you're going to have some trouble.
Well, so then let's go through that. So we've locked in Bam, we've locked in Booker, we've locked in Ant, we've locked in Hallie. So that's 4 out of the 12 spots.
Yep.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Brown and...
Yeah, which one? Do you want they are or they're not playing?
Let's say they're there. So we got 6. We got 2 wings, Brown and Tatum. We got 2 guards, Halliburton and Ant. And I'm missing someone.
Booker.
Oh, Booker. 3 guards, Halliburton, Ant, and Booker, and Bam. So we're at 6. We need 8 more. If I'm looking at it right now, I think Donovan Mitchell's got to be there. Donovan Mitchell is probably the best or second best guy to not be on this team that could have made it.
Yep.
Jalen Brunson's probably there.
Yep, I have him
but
as well.
Then at that point, you're really guard heavy because you got Booker, Ant can kind of scale up as a wing because he's very athletic and strong. But you got Booker, Ant, Hallie, and then Mitchell and Brunson, and then that's it. Like, that's it for the guards. No more guards.
But that's the problem is that, and that's what I'm getting at when I was making my list, I was guard heavy because I think the talent is skewing a little bit in the guard department because there's a name that you left off. Well, first of all, if you're doing the Halliburton thing and he didn't play, are you going to extend an invitation back to Derek White in like a Drew Holiday role? Like, we like this guy. He plays hard. Because then that's another guard position. Are you going to give a shot at Ja Morant? Is Ja going to play? Like,
Adam Silver's not going to let Ja go to the international stage. I'll tell you that.
Well, 4 years is a long time.
And Ja's also, he's an injury-prone guy. He's 6'2", 170 pounds. He's obviously had the off-the-court issues, but he's not the healthiest player we've ever seen. He's not Tatum. He's certainly not an Iron Man.
No. So, but Ja...
And what I was going to say real quick is like a fundamental problem is that basically every good big now is not American. Like we got Bam who will be there, and then Chet's got to be there, right?
Yeah,
I can't think of another American big rise unless one of these guys in this class or in the next draft class becomes an absolute stud.
Yeah, so Chet goes, okay, hopefully Chet's bigger by then because he'll get killed by some of these bigs internationally, though they have no touch.
Jokic is gonna kill him.
I'm not even joking. Like, some of these bigs international have the touch, but they'll bully Chet Holmgren. So I have him as well. You've touched on everyone that I've named so far. There's one guy you have not mentioned that I have. So I made a list of 11 guys. And I had a list of wild cards. 6 of them are guards, not counting Jaylen Brown. It's Brunson, Ja, Halliburton, Mitchell, Edwards, Booker, Brown, Tatum, Bam and Chet as the centers, and I have Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, Paolo's probably there.
And then there's one other spot, and some guys I listed. Flag, because I agree he could get the call, but we'll see. Is Embiid going to run it back? I don't think so. It seems like he won't, but could Embiid run it back? I don't know. Is Zion going to be able to give it a go? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be at that level to play?
Well, if that's the team, then your defense is like Ant. Hopefully he's a great defender then. And then it's Bam, Tatum and Brown, and like I guess Chet too. Like that's not a great international defense because he's still like it's going to be an older, less athletic Booker. Ja's never going to be a good defender.
You're seeing what I'm getting at, Henry. So then let's do the other exercise. You take off Tatum and Brown. Now this team is looking not good at all. And
American wings, like they're all the great wings are older. It's LeBron, Durant, Kawhi, Jimmy Butler,
Paul George.
Paul George. Who are like? I'm trying to go through I'm just looking at a list of like the best players in the NBA.
I looked at the guys who got invited in January, like the consideration, and there's some guys on that list from America that like should not be near this team. With all due respect, like a guy that so if Brown and Tatum don't go, maybe you got to extend an invite to Mikal Bridges, but I don't want that. No one wants that. Like you saw how the FIBA Cup went. Like I don't want that. So then there's another guard that could get an invite is like maybe Tyrese Maxey, but I don't even really want that either. I mean, in a couple of years, I expect Maxey to be like better than Ja Morant. So I could actually like. But then he's still a small guard. Like that doesn't fix your wing problem. Like there's a wing problem. The United States has a wing problem. What is Kamala Harris's and not Joe Biden, he dropped that, and Donald Trump's plan to address the wing problem in the NBA? There are no good young wings outside of like Tatum and Brown. Where are they? Where are our good young wings? Scotty Barnes? Are we going to put Scotty Barnes? God, I hope not. My magnum opus, and it's fallen right into my lap here, is that Team USA needs Tatum and Brown a hell of a lot more than Tatum and Brown need Team USA. And number 2, Steve Kerr may have fucked Team USA for the future because their entire system was around 4 guys that are probably not coming back in 2028. In LeBron, Steph, KD, and Embiid. Those 4 guys are probably not coming back. So you just put all your eggs in that basket. And if you take Tatum and Brown off of that team in 28, I think that team struggles to get a medal, which it might be crazy. It's just, this is a small team. And even with Tatum and Brown, it's still a small team because you're right, Henry. There are not a ton of good American wing players. Like,
so let's just say right now, for like best case scenario, the team would be the guards that we mentioned: Halliburton, Ant, Booker, Mitchell, Brunson. Those 5 guards. Then you got Tatum, Brown, Bam, Chet. I think you have to have another big in there. I don't know who that other big is. Maybe it's.
I saw someone say it was fucking Derek Lively, which I do not think is the answer, but it might be.
Maybe Cat can revoke his Dominican citizenship and play for the U.S.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I'm just looking at the list right.
Some bigs that got invited. Jarrett Allen. Do we want that? I don't think so.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh God. I mean, again, that doesn't solve the rebound.
If we want to get one rebound a game, perhaps.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Maybe Evan Mobley's at that point. You know what? I'm going to put Mobley there just for now, just because I think he's got a higher ceiling than Derek Lively. So let's say Mobley, Chet, Bam are your bigs. And then you got 2 more spots that I think have to go to wings. And one I think has to go to Paolo. But Paolo's like a jumbo wing. And he could obviously improve defensively, but I think he's going to kind of almost function more as a big than a wing because he's massive and not like super athletic. And then like, so then literally your only wings are Brown, Tatum, and hope Anthony Edwards can scale up.
That's exactly how I drew it up in my prediction because, and again, Kerr ran a lot of 3-guard lineups with Curry, Holiday, and Booker. So it's not like Team USA won't do that, but it is a problem. Like, I put 6 guards on this team, and I put Brown as my 1 small forward, Tatum and Paolo at the 4, Bam and Chet at the 5. That's not great. And so then, okay, maybe Cooper Flagg can play, but like Cooper Flagg in 28 will be in the league for like 2-3 years.
He'll be 21.
And some guys, we saw it in the Redeem Team doc, LeBron, Melo, those guys like kind of struggled their first in Athens, like they just kind of struggled. So you just don't have guys that can like steady the ship. So I don't really know, like the rest of the world is gaining on the US, right? And this roster here, if you don't have Tatum and Brown, you're in trouble. And
I would agree. Unless
you very likely will not have Tatum and Brown by what you just did in 2024. So some sort of piece is going to have to be made because you're right, Henry. There's a wings and a big shortage for America right now. And this might be on Steve Kerr and Grant Hill may have fucked the future. So I don't know.
It's a tough look. It's really difficult. And, for example, we say the world is catching up, but really, if you're thinking about it, it's France. France is catching up more than anyone because of Wemby, because they had the top 2 picks in the past draft, because they have a guy who's probably going to be a top 5 pick in the upcoming draft. If some of those guys hit, France could be like, and if Wemby becomes who we think Wemby will be, France is going to be the team to beat at the Olympics in 2028 if Wemby is this Hakeem Olajuwon defense plus 27 points per game. Yeah. And let's say Alex Sarr can turn into like discount Jaren Jackson Jr. And then the point guard next year, Nolan Traore, turns out to be a pretty good player.
Yeah.
France could very easily be the favorites. They could. I'm not exaggerating at all. I think there's a real world where we go into LA 2028 and France is the betting market favorite.
I think that's fair. And I think another team that will catch up or get closer is Canada. I think Canada embarrassing
Germany
finish for them. Germany, I'm intrigued because like Schroeder's been there for so long. He's been so good for them, but like he's getting older. The Wagners can be the Wagners, whatever. But Canada's a team that I think is young. They'll have guys that are good players. And they'll get better.
Namely not Jamal Murray.
Mainly not, but Shea. So they'll get better. But Brown and Tatum play, then the U.S. can win. I have faith in that. But will they play?
You've convinced me. I think it's really important that you get them. I think it's really important that you get both.
And again,
of them.
There is not a lock that you get those guys. And those guys easily could be like, fuck you, Team USA. I'm not going to go. And you could argue they'd have a right to, like this shit's been ugly. So it's a bold strategy. Like, you kind of have to hope that Cooper Flag is as good as advertised. Maybe fucking
Is
AJ
DeBansta?
Is DeBansta going to be ready to go like that?
He'll be 20.
But again, if we're asking Flag and DeBansta to carry in 28, we're in trouble. It's just Athens all over again. So that's,
and then Flag and DeBansta become, LeBron and Wade in 2032 in Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne 2032.
Yes, it is Melbourne or Brisbane.
Okay. Oh, Brisbane.
One of those Australian places. So
one of those cities.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. I've been thinking about it a lot today. I'm like, damn, like we should relish in it while you can, America, because I do not know if Tatum and Brown will play in 28. And looking at the roster that we just built, I really think you need Tatum and Brown to play.